You can think about it because we should probably introduce ourselves. I kind of forgot about that.
Uh-huh.
People might not, people might watch without knowing who all of us are.
Yeah.
So you can go first, Julian, I guess.
Welcome for those who don't know me. I'm Julian Tsai. I came back from a brief stint about the past year and a half to 2 years. I spent in Osaka Prefecture, Japan, where I pursued an apprenticeship at Kouka-en. Before that, I've been on and off involved in bonsai, starting from Southern California, and I kind of got more invested. And I think it was in 2017. I was working out in the Chicago areas, and I met up with the owner out there at the Hidden Gardens, Jeff Schultz, and I also at that time I met Owen Reich, who was a former apprentice at Kouka-en, and I kind of got the ball rolling from there to pursue bonsai kind of as a interest and passion and a potential career path for me. But nothing too much has been going on right now. I've been stuck at home with quarantine and whatnot, but just looking at the future in a positive note, and we'll see how things go.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Go ahead.
Do you want me to go next?
Yeah, sure.
Sorry. No, 1 second. I'm going to transfer myself really quick. I have a small house with 2 roommates. So that was well said, Julian. I guess I'm. My name is Andy or Andrew Bello. I go by both. I was the intern or apprentice, as I guess you could say. It's the first curator's apprentice at the National Bonsai Penjing Museum. I'm currently working there still, and I'm going to transition into the assistant curator position there, working with the curator, Michael James, who has been doing a really great job of just keeping the health of the collection looking amazing and really keeping the artists, works moving towards their vision, but also considering the health of the trees, which always is a constant conversation over collections, I know, but he's been doing a great job, and I love working there. And I guess me starting into bonsai, I grew up in Illinois near the Chicago collection, in Glenview, Illinois is where I lived. And then I moved to Arizona for school. Didn't really do bonsai much. My friends were growing some sequoias in their room, like with my room, like my friends had grow lights, and they had some trees inside. Didn't last very long. They all died. And I was like, dang, that's pretty cool. And I kind of got a little bit more interested. Moved to Oregon to breed koi and goldfish for this company. And then that kind of introduced me to Japanese koi breeding and culture. And through that, I started getting into bonsai more. Then I worked at a bonsai nursery, and it was more like a field-grown stuff. Some collected short pines, collected Port Orford cedars. This was on the Bandon it's Bandon, Oregon, which is on the coast. So it's a beautiful place. If you can, I definitely recommend getting out there. It's called Driftwood Bonsai. Just the whole coast from California up is just amazing.
Where along the Oregon coast is that?
That's like south central. If you know where, it's like south of Newport.
Okay.
Or you know where Coos Bay is?
I don't know where Coos Bay is, but I know where Newport is.
It's south of Newport, about an hour and a half.
Okay.
And it's really beautiful. The short pines are just like so windswept, and there's beautiful state park over there. And so that's where a lot of my inspiration comes from, I guess. That nursery I worked at and that environment around there, it kind of opened the door for me to I would go 5 days a month and just wire trees in the ground, wire style raw material. Like he would pretty much let me choose anything I wanted, and he's like, okay, here's like 5 plants for your day. Here's a tree for each day you're here. And then also like some work that I need help with. And I would just kind of really crappily wire things. And then he would just be like, oh, this is like, a better way to do this. And he would kind of critique my work without very hands off until after I had done it. So that was kind of cool because it let me kind of learn from making mistakes, which is very important in bonsai, as we all doing bonsai know very well.
Yeah, that's a pretty good way of learning. I think maybe all 3 of us have had similar experiences in that kind of informal volunteering for a nursery. Like I volunteered for Dan Robinson out of London, also about like once every week for 2 or 3 years while I was in undergrad here. And Julian, did you volunteer at Hidden Gardens in Chicago? Was that right?
Yeah, I was only out there for about 3 months, so I did some work for Jeff and helped at the Chicago Bonsai Show, Midwest Bonsai Show. Out in Southern California, before I went to Japan, I did do some volunteering out with Huntington Gardens, which is our big collection out here. So I'd say before the apprenticeship, bonsai for me was largely, a self-pursued interest and hobby. Just trying to teach myself, practice on, material I had access to or people who had trees. So it was like that for, I'd say, good 4 or 5 years or so before I really could start accelerating, getting nicer stuff to work on, and furthering the practice in bonsai.
Gotcha. Yeah. Just to introduce myself real quick, I'm Ryan, and I've been doing bonsai since I was 8, but I always tell people those first 10 years I kind of wasted because I was growing the trees indoors, and I had like one bonsai book by Colin Lewis that I would always like kill a tree, go back to the book, flip through it, reread it, and then kill a tree. So it wasn't until I came out to Seattle and started like really immersing myself in all of the mountains and the nature around, and then I stumbled on Dan Robinson's that I started getting more intense bonsai, like seeing kind of the really serious people and what they could do made me more motivated to try to like spend more time and energy in the hobby. But before I was just kind of like very fascinated, but I didn't know the whole process of getting to one of those like top tier trees.